3 days to go in the Jon Coupland Cars countdown to Christmas, I don't know, advent calendar of terrible car purchases. Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're enjoying this mini-series so far with just 3 days to go until we reveal my number one car that I've had in the past 2 or 3 years that I really wish I hadn't sold. What today is behind door number 3? Let's find out. It was close to being behind door number 2, but it was just pipped to the post. And you'll find out tomorrow what door number 2 is. But behind number 3 then is this. Look at it. It's a 2003 facelift MR2 Toyota Mark III. It's the 1.8 litre VVTi 16 valve engine edition. This being the Roadster. 6-speed gearbox. In fact, I think they all were. But it's the soft top edition, 1.8 litre VVTi Toyota MR2 Mark III. And if you are aware of what is in my collection, I already have a Toyota MR2 Mark 1A. Quite an early one. In fact, one of the earliest, if not the earliest, still registered in the UK. And when this popped up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, I had to buy it. It sadly has quite a sad backstory behind it, and I didn't realise at the time when I organised to view it, but it belonged to an old school friend of mine who had sadly passed away. It was his wife selling the car. He'd bought it. It was his pride and joy, and it had been off the road for around about a year or so since his passing. They let the MOT lapse, and it had just sat under a cover, and she decided it was time to let it go. And when I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, I contacted her and his father, and they were glad that it was going to an enthusiast that was going to get it back on the road and find it a loving home. So when I bought it, it had been off the road for a year, but was a low mileage example, 41,694 miles from new. And because this is the Coupland cars that have come and gone, well, it has been sold. But we'll talk about that in a minute, because Dad and I did some work on the car to get it back up to scratch. I paid a fair price for it, for a car that had been sat with no MOT. £2,000 I paid for it. There was no argument on the price. I thought it was a great example, and for what it needed doing, I was not going to haggle at all in any way, shape or form. I was happy to pay that money and it go to this lad's family. There it is. You can see underneath, no rust, no rot. The hood was in great condition. And the interior, which we'll see in just a minute, was also in fantastic condition. An absolutely unmolested example of one of these is getting hard to find. Yes, it has aftermarket wheels on, but actually I found a set of wheels, genuine, brand new, local to where I live, and I paid £100 for them to have as part of the car, because when I bought it, my intention was to keep it as part of my collection, and we'll talk about why I didn't in just a minute's time. But as you can see, it's in fantastic condition, and these are really hard to find where they've not been mucked about with, i.e. not had stupid interior modifications or any sort of exterior modifications, and putting a set of wheels on it was not a hardship. They were about an hour away from where we are in Kings Lynn. But you can see from the interior, it really is a very good example, and such a low mileage example I had to have. Work we did on the car then, well, it was not MOT ready when I bought it. It needed the exhaust repairing. It was blowing. If you look at the MOT history, it had that for a couple of years, and the flexi had finally failed. Dad and I repaired that, and because it had been stood, it needed some TLC in regards to the brakes needed stripping and the handbrake needed servicing as well. But apart from that, well, just putting a new battery on it and jumping it off, it needed very little. And you can see from the interior, having a look, that the driver's bolster was also in fantastic condition. When I went to MOT it, funny story, I had to cancel my original MOT because when I bought the car, it only came with one key. I left it on the side, and we'd just got a new cat, a ragdoll cat called Mop. And long story short, I went to take the car for an MOT, went to take it to Neil's one morning. Could I find the key? No. Where had the key gone? Mrs. Jon Coupland was adamant she'd put it away in the key box. I was adamant that I'd put it away in the key box. And it was gone. I looked under everything because I'd come to the conclusion that it had probably been knocked off the side by the cat, and looked absolutely everywhere. Spent a whole day panicking, called the team at the DG Automotive to get me a new key done, and it was going to cost me 500 quid. And in the end, Dad and I managed to find the key. It was right under the fridge. So the cat didn't get any treats that night, but we took it for an MOT and it passed with flying colours. I realised that this was a car that needed to be kept under cover, and so I didn't have the ability to store it under cover or in the garage, and so popped the car up for sale, and I sold it to a chap in Northern Ireland who is still enjoying the car. He bought the wheels off me as well, and I sold it for £4,500, and he decided to buy it just from watching the videos on the channel. So £2,500 effectively made on the car. One of the biggest profits I've ever made. It wasn't about making a profit, it was about it going to the right home, but that's what it was worth once we'd done the work on it. And I did take a bit of a gamble at £2,000, and we did quite a bit of work getting it onto the road. It's still MOT'd. It's MOT'd until October 2025, and it's now done 45,911 miles. So it's done, what, 6,000 miles since we sold it, and it's on the road, still with the owner that I sold it to, still being loved. In fact, I keep up to date with him, and he's really enjoying the car. He's got the proper wheels on the car now. This is one I probably should have kept for the price I paid. It is a fast appreciating, rare modern classic, two-seater though, and I've got lots of two-seaters in my collection. And as you know, grey and silver cars, not necessarily my sort of thing. If it was green, that bright green colour that you get, maybe I would have kept it. Let me know in the comments down below. To earn £2,500, was it worth it? Are you happy that it's gone to a good home? Or is this one I should have kept? Let me know in the comments down below. What could be at number 2? We'll find out tomorrow. You'll be surprised with number 1, but I'm glad I scratched that itch and had a Mark III Toyota MR2. Genuinely glad that it's gone to a good home. And, well, the money I lost on the MG, I've made back, haven't I, with this wonderful Japanese car. Moral of the story, know what you're looking at. Thanks for watching. Plenty more cars coming on the Jon Coupland Cars Countdown to Christmas. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already done so, comment down below. What did you reckon? Was it one that I was right to get shot of, or should I have kept it? And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Till next time, have a great day. Thanks for watching. See ya. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoy making it. I've selected a couple more videos here for you that I think that you might like from my previous collection. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. It really helps keep you up to date.